Sean P. Diddy Combs, a name synonymous with success in the entertainment industry, now finds himself at the center of a legal storm. Once celebrated for his contributions to music, business, and pop culture, Combs is facing a 3-count federal indictment that has shocked both the public and his fans. The charges against him are serious: racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. This indictment, filed in the Southern District of New York in September 2024, details allegations that span over a decade, from 2008 to the present. It paints a dark picture of how Combs allegedly used his power and influence to run a criminal enterprise that exploited women. These allegations have rocked the entertainment world, where the powerful are increasingly being held accountable for their actions. According to federal prosecutors, Combs organized events known as freak-offs. These events were described as elaborate, multi-day gatherings where women were coerced into sexual acts. Male commercial sex workers were allegedly transported across state lines to participate, making this a federal crime. The indictment states that Combs used a combination of threats, violence, and control over the victims' careers and financial stability to ensure their participation. Disturbingly, some of these gatherings were reportedly recorded by Combs himself. The recordings were then used as leverage to maintain control over his victims. Prosecutors allege that Combs would threaten to release these tapes if any of the women or participants refused his demands. The power dynamics in these relationships were highly imbalanced, with Combs holding all the cards: his wealth, his connections, and his influence over the victims' careers, many of whom were aspiring artists or workers in his orbit. But the allegations don't stop there. In addition to the sex trafficking charges, Combs has been accused of multiple instances of physical abuse. These incidents include reports of assault where women were struck, dragged, or even had objects thrown at them by Combs. Prosecutors also allege that Combs' abuse extended beyond the women involved in the freak-offs, with witnesses also subjected to threats and physical violence. Combs is also facing charges of obstruction of justice. Federal authorities allege that he used bribes and other means to prevent victims from speaking out or cooperating with the investigation. It's claimed that he attempted to use his influence to cover up the crimes, ensuring his public image remained untarnished while keeping those around him silent. What makes this case even more troubling is the wide-reaching nature of the criminal enterprise. According to the indictment, Combs did not act alone. Other associates within his business and social circles allegedly helped facilitate these acts of abuse and exploitation, creating a vast network designed to protect Combs' reputation and keep the truth hidden. But despite the overwhelming accusations, Combs has pled not guilty to all charges. He maintains his innocence, stating that the claims are untrue and part of an effort to tarnish his name. His legal team is preparing for a major defense, aiming to discredit the allegations and poke holes in the prosecution's case. For the victims who have come forward, this case represents more than just a legal battle. It's a fight for justice and accountability. Homeland Security Investigations, one of the agencies leading the case, praised the courage of these victims, who have endured years of suffering in silence. They also encourage others who may have been affected by Combs' actions to come forward and aid the investigation. The U.S. Attorney's Office, led by Damian Williams, has vowed to see this case through, indicating that more revelations may emerge as the trial progresses. The prosecution believes they have built a strong case against Combs, with evidence spanning over a decade of alleged abuse. These charges carry the potential for severe consequences, including long-term imprisonment if Combs is convicted. This case is set to be one of the most closely watched legal battles in recent entertainment history. For years, Combs has been a dominant figure in the music industry, known for shaping careers, launching successful ventures, and staying at the forefront of pop culture. However, these allegations threaten to undo all of that, potentially marking a significant fall from grace for a man once at the top of the world. As this case unfolds, many will be watching not only for the legal outcome, but also for the broader implications it may have. The entertainment industry has been grappling with a reckoning in recent years, with figures once untouchable being held accountable for their actions. Combs' case will add another chapter to this ongoing narrative. For now, Combs remains out on bail, and his legal team is preparing for what will likely be a long and grueling trial. His reputation hangs in the balance, as does the future of his business empire. And for the victims, this trial represents an opportunity to have their voices heard after years of alleged abuse. The coming months will be critical in determining the fate of Sean P. Diddy Combs. The trial will test not only his legacy, but also the broader culture of power and exploitation within the entertainment industry. The world waits to see how this story will end and whether justice will be served for those who have come forward with their painful accounts of abuse.